Now, what is definitely better in bigger doses is Sebas, a man that is so dignified and has such raw masculine magnetism that local women are out here spraying waterfalls out of their pants just by talking to him. When he walked down the street, 9 out of 10 women, regardless of age, turned to watch him. 9 out of 10 women. Sebas's powerful effect on women is highlighted multiple times in Volume 5, and I think the author was smiling when he was writing some of these passages because they definitely got a chuckle out of me. Besides being a professional at seduction, Sebas is also to me one of the most interesting characters from Nazarick because he has such a different set of values from almost everybody else. As a guild of heteromorphic beings that roleplay being the baddies, it is no surprise that most of the members of Nazarick are actually pretty evil, and not only do they not like humans, they despise them, they view them as inferior. And the main NPCs of Nazarick are either completely evil, like Albedo or Demiurge for example, or they're quite neutral, like Aura, Mare and Cocytus, who despite following his warrior code is by no means a paragon of virtue. And then there's Sebas, who has a strong sense of justice and an inclination to help the weak, and that's why he stands out so much. Ever since Volume 3, there's been this theme of the NPCs doing something they're not supposed to. In Volume 3, Shaltir was brainwashed, in Volume 4, Cocytus learned to think, our jacked bug is now sentient, congratulations, and Sebas in this book is fighting his own conscience. Throughout this entire volume, we see insane levels of coping as Sebas is just trying to justify his behavior, but he knows he's not doing the right thing for Nazarick, he knows he's meddling where he shouldn't, and yet he's doing that only because he's hardwired to help people. And the interactions with Solution are so deliciously awkward. She cannot even believe that Sebas would consider bringing in a human and protecting her. She's just so confused. We saw how depraved she was in Volume 3, and her set of values and Sebas' set of values could not be farther apart. Sebas' point of view is fun to read because he's conflicted and he shows perhaps what a normal human would think when working for Nazarick, how a normal human would empathize with other humans in bad situations and not ignore them and call them bugs or whatever Narberal is into. When Sebas is going on the revenge tour making human donuts out of fat perverts, we get this cathartic sense of satisfaction, like finally somebody from Nazarick is doing something nice, and they're doing it for the right reasons, not because they have some evil plan behind the scenes or some hidden intentions. And the man who opens metal reinforced doors by punching through them with his fists is obviously not a regular guy, and we see this in the hilarious storyline where he acts as a pseudo-mentor to Climb and perhaps even to Brain. The things Sebas does in this volume are just so over the top that they're just so funny to me. At one point, he's reading Climb's hand like he's some sort of nice gypsy lady on the street. At another, he's looking at Climb and judging his entire personality by his equipment, which, to be fair, his entire personality is pretty basic, but it was still funny. And in the street scene between Sebas, Climb and Brain, we discover that Sebas wanted to be ambushed, and so he directed his bloodlust at only Brain and Climb. And what does that even mean? That's ridiculous. There's this whole trope of warriors in anime and manga with all of these cheesy cliches, which to be fair I do appreciate, but they're so ridiculous. Like there's the trope, I think it is done here by Brain, where a character sees another character just by the way they walk, they can deduce their preparation and their physical training, which has some basis on reality, but they often take it way too far. For example, in ReZero, it's the worst example I've ever seen. Garfield managed to deduce that Subaru has some experience with Kendo by the way he walked, which is, come on bro, sure. And back to Sebas, what does targeted bloodlust even mean? I've always imagined bloodlust in these series like a lion, a hungry lion in front of you. You can see his face, his eyes, his demeanor. He's about to nom nom on your face. How do you even target that? How does this man have targeted vibes? It makes no sense, but it's fun to read.